Hi, my name is Dr. Taylor Krupp, and I am a associate veterinarian at Central Providence Veterinary Hospital. I am also certified in canine rehab, and Bailey and I are going to talk with you guys today a little bit more about that subject.
Dr. Krupp, what is dog rehabilitation and how can it benefit my dog?
Canine rehabilitation is a specialty of veterinary medicine that focuses on improving strength, mobility, and comfort, typically for orthopedic or neurologic diseases.
Are there different types of rehabilitation or therapy for dogs?
There are different types. So, like I mentioned, sometimes we are helping post-operatively for like neurologic or orthopedic conditions. Other times we are helping, try to get some mobility and strength back in our senior dogs that are dealing with arthritis. There's also sections of canine rehab that are focused more on helping our canine athletes or working dogs to make sure they are strong and ready or kind of recover from injuries. And then we also kind of break down canine rehab into different areas. So one is just on pain management, so using medications and therapies to help comfort-wise versus strength training. And sometimes we also are kind of just focusing on trying to get a better range of motion back in our joints.
What types of exercises and treatments are commonly used in dog physical therapy?
So I'll probably break this down into pain management and then strength training. So for pain management, we will utilize things such as laser therapy, acupuncture, massage, range of motion stretching, and some therapeutic ultrasound. Those I would say are probably most common. But then you also have to think about just doing like heat and ice support too. And then as far as strength training, sometimes we'll utilize like therapeutic exercises, which are putting your dog through different motions that will help kind of focus on different muscle groups, like having them do little doggy push-ups or doggy squats. And then also underwater treadmill is a very common modality that's used.
What can rehabilitation help my senior dog with arthritis?
It can. So canine rehab is not going to take away the arthritis. When we are treating patients that have arthritis, our goal is one, get them comfortable as possible, utilizing usually supplements, medication, and some of those other modalities I mentioned just a few minutes ago, as well as trying to build up their strength and range of motion so that their body can kind of better compensate for those changes.
What is hydrotherapy and how does it help dogs?
Hydrotherapy that I typically most see is utilizing like the underwater treadmill. So that's where they kind of walk into this tank and warm water rises from the bottom, which helps to warm up their muscles, warm up the joint capsule. And then the water will also take the weight of their body off their joints and allow them to move, hopefully with a more normal range of motion. But also it's hard to walk in water, so it gives them a better workout than just walking on land. And then there are also facilities that you can utilize to help, like with swimming.
Are there any risks associated with dog rehabilitation?
There are risks with everything. So I think it's important to talk to the doctor in charge of your dog's case about everything that's going on with your dog to figure out what is the best modality to use or which modalities are best to stay away from. And then when we're talking about trying to, rehab from an injury or gain strength in a senior pet, there's always a risk of going too far and getting a injury or re-injury. So just being careful and watching how your dog responds and starting off slow and working up is important.
How soon can I expect to see improvements in my dog's condition?
This also really greatly depends on what's going on with your pet, how severe their case is, and what modalities you guys utilize. For pain relief, like our goal is to get response pretty quickly, but if we're trying to gain strength, you can often look at several months.
How soon is rehabilitation suitable for dogs recovering from surgery?
This is another area we just have to be careful in. Yes, we can utilize therapy in post-operative cases, but it very much depends on your dog, what procedure they went through, and that will let us know kind of where we start. Sometimes we don't jump right away to doing strength training. Sometimes we just work on range of motion and controlling inflammation for a while their body heals, and then we can add into strength changes.
Are there any dogs that shouldn't participate in rehabilitation?
I would say no, but I think not every modality fits every dog. So again, I would just make sure that your vet knows and your rehab team knows exactly what is going on with your pet, both like musculoskeletal and neurologically, but also systemically, and they can help make a treatment plan that's best for your dog.
How can I find a qualified canine rehabilitation therapist?
I would just Google a canine rehab therapist in your area. If you go to the caninerehabinstitute.com, you can also put in your zip code and find vets or people that are near you that can help. If you're in the Charlotte area, we have a couple options here, including Vet Rec and Indian Trail. So it really kind of just depends on where you're at, but just look up areas by you and see what team is going to fit you and your pet best. And that is all our questions for today. If you have any questions, we're happy to help.